Okay, so we've gone ahead and talked about where the button goes on the cuff and the buttonhole, and we've sewn on the button, we've done the buttonhole. We're now going to talk about where buttons and buttonholes go on the front band, and then you can go ahead and get yours sewn on. Okay, so first of all, this is what the shirt looks like, and I've got my collar done, my band, collar band here, neck band, and now I'm ready to, I've got everything done. I have not done the hem because I want to put all my buttons and buttonholes on, get it buttoned up, and know exactly where my hem will be so that if I have to make any adjustments here to make it line up, I can do that after. So what I'm going to do now is my buttons and buttonholes. So the left side is where the buttonholes go. The right side is where the buttons go. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to talk about where buttons go, which then tells us where a buttonhole needs to be, but I'm actually going to do the buttonholes first and then sew on the buttons because it's easier to move a button up and down than it is a buttonhole. So the first thing we do is we look at that neck band here, okay, and this is how your shirt is going to sit. The left side, the band, is going to slightly go over the stitching on the right side because your band is in front. So that's where my buttonholes go. All right, so now I'm going to look here at my, I'm going to look at the neck band on the right side, and I've got to find center front. Okay, so center front is going to be in the middle of this band. Okay, so here's my center front. Well, I'm going to measure across here, so that's like 1.5 inches. So my center front is right in the middle of that, so it's at 3/4. I'm going to stick a little pin there. So here's where that is, okay, and that takes me right to the middle. So that's center front, and then if I just go straight up like this, then that's my center front. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle of this band. The width of the band, I'm going to find the middle there. So that is just barely over 1 inch. So that means that's like 1/2 inch and maybe another 1/16. And I'm just going to put it right like that. So I'm now going to go like this. Okay? So that's where the button should go. Okay? Now, let's look at the left side. Okay, we'll do the same kind of thing. We'll go over here and we find center front. Oh, well, I'm sorry, the width of the band, 1.5 inches. So I go to the middle of the band. I'm going to grab a pin here. Go to the middle of the band and find 3/4. Okay, so that's right here. Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm right where I need to be. Yes, okay, maybe over just a tiny bit. Okay, so there's the middle, so that would be center front. So again, that would go straight up here. And then I find the middle of the width of the band. So that is going to be like right here. Okay, so if that's where the button goes, I did the same thing for the button here and the button here. But when I do the buttonhole, remember I start 1/8 of an inch over. So let me get out a few more pins to locate that. So you start your buttonhole 1/8 of an inch over towards the edge. So I'm about right here. And then I'm going to go parallel to this line here. And I'm going to go back into the band the amount I need to go. My buttons are 3/8 of an inch plus about 1/8 of an inch thickness, so I'm going to go and do this at 1/2 inch right here. Okay, so let me just, all right, so that's where my buttonhole should go, right here. Now I'm not going to sew my button on first. I'm going to actually do the buttonhole first, and then once I get my buttonhole done, then I can go back and make sure where I want to put the buttons, it still fits just right. Okay, so that's the band. Okay, now let's talk about I'm sorry, that's the neck band.